Hey, hello everyone. My name is Daun, and today I'm going to represent my valuation midterm report today. Now, first, my valuation target is Lotte Chilsong, which is a beverage company in Korea. And next, I'll talk about Lotte Chilsong briefly to overview the target. Now, Lotte Chilsong was founded in 1950, becoming one of the biggest beverage firms in South Korea. Now, after the release of Zero Soju and Crush Beer, Lotte Chilson was thriving, but after a while, the stock chart drew a negative line consistently. Now, Lotte Chilson is a major beverage company based in South Korea, so I was curious about if Lotte Chilson will succeed to bounce back. Now, the purpose of this example is to calculate the intrinsic value of Lotte Chilsung's equity using the residual income valuation model. Now, the prime reason why I choose Lotte Chilsung is because I was very interested in the liquor companies, and Lotte Chilsung was very famous to our generation because of the Zero Soju and Crush Beer. And so let's look at the first basic calculations, the initial hypothesis I did a few weeks ago. Now, there is some given financial data. As you can see here, there's like ROE, the current book value of equity, required rate of return on equity, and projected net incomes for the next 5 years, and the long-term growth rate. Now, at this time, I didn't use Bloomberg. I didn't know how to use Bloomberg, so most of the data here, I used the N-Page one and Googled some of the rates out. So as you can see here, there's the book value of equity, the required rate of return on equity, and net income for the next 5 years, and long-term growth rate. Now, this Python code is from our professor. He posted on the Google Docs, and I used it, put in the ratios and just do the calculations. Now, initial equity change, charge for year one, residual income for each year, and present value of residual income for each year, and just run the code. And this shows us the total intrinsic value. Now, the total intrinsic value that is shown here is approximately 15,990 point something. And sorry for my camera. The webcam isn't very good today, so it might be buzzing. Uh, so based on the calculations for our hypothetical company, Lotte Chilsong, using the RIM, the total intrinsic value of the equity is approximately 15,990.09 billion won. Now, the other thing I did last time is using the comparable company analysis, CCA, with Haijilo and Wuhak. These are both companies, beverage companies, liquor companies, that can sound very familiar to you. And this is a code, and I had to put in data like revenue, net income, EPSP ratio, and debt equity ratio. And I looked up both ratios for height and mohawk on Naval Page 증권 and Googled some of it, and just run the code, and it prints out some of the data I put in and average the P ratio and average the EP ratio and things like this, and compare this to the ones with um, Lotte Chilsung, and we can see how Lotte Chilsung is doing right now. Sorry for that. And next one is another code for CCA. As well, I put in the ratios above, and these are the same results they came out with. The next part is valuation, which I did this time, and I did two valuations. First one was using the residual income model, and as you can see, I didn't do this with codes. I just did it with my calculator, and so we are trying to get the expected firm's present value, and we needed the current book value of equity, which is 15,368 billion won, and the ROE is 10.7%, and the return rate on equity is 9% approximately, and the growth rate is 4.72%, which is uh, a state I got from the Bloomberg. I'll show you right now. Okay, sorry. Okay, so this is the Bloomberg. I captured some of the Bloomberg stats I got, and you can see that there are like EPS, DPS, PB ratio, PR, and this is the growth rate, which gave help to me a lot. And you can see that there are many datas you can get that is useful for you on your valuation. This is the WACC. I used to get the ROE and return ratio. And thanks to us, the Bloomberg actually calculated the growth rate. So you can get the growth rate from the Bloomberg, and I use this one. Okay. Oops. Okay. So calculating this with my calculator made me so the expected firm's present value is 21,472.11 billion won, which means that currently the firm is very underrated. And the second one is the Goryeo ion example, which the professor showed us last week. And I just put in some data I got from Bloomberg and Googling. And as you can see here, this is the price of the stock. And today I looked it up and the price has changed. It increased in 2000, so it may be different right now. And this is the EPS, it's the PBR, and this valuation code just gives us the ROE and the return on equity ratio and growth rate. Some of it is different from the things I did from the RIM and Bloomberg, but you can see that the theoretical PBR we are going to use is 0.624 and so on. So the PBR is lower than 0.7, which means we should buy Lotte Chilsung stocks because it is underrated in a significant amount. So by conclusion, valuation with, sorry for the typo, valuation with RIM states that Lotte Chilsung is 21,472.11 billion at my guess, which means that Lotte Chilsung is underrated presently. And also estimating Lotte Chilsung's theoretical PBR stated that the PBR is lower than 0.7, meaning that Lotte Chilsung stocks is underrated as well. Now, since the price of the stock has changed from the first time I did my initial hypothesis, and it also changed from yesterday. Now, in my final report, some statistics will change. Now, and I seek to find out how my predictions about Lotte Choson will turn out to be. Now, as you can see in my valuation, both are stating that Lotte Choson is very underrated. And also, if you look up in the Bloomberg and the Naver or Google charts, you can see that the consensus are pointing that the Lotte Choson firm is very underrated, and it also tells us to buy the stocks very strongly because it is low risk, and so it is low return, but the return rate we can get is bigger than the input of the risk. So I hope you can uh, show some interest in the Literature Song Company as well. And thank you for listening to my valuation midterm report. And I'll see you on my final report next time. Thank you for listening.